Hi, we're filmmakers from the documentary film Bluff City Chinese. My name is Tandi Tsai. I'm the director of the film.
I'm Emmy, and I am the historian for the film.
I'm Sissa Wang, and I am the writer and producer for the film.
So the film is, on the surface, it's about 150 years of history of the Memphis Chinese community. A lot of people don't know that there are Chinese Americans in Memphis and have been for a really long time. But at the heart of the film is a story of an intergenerational friendship between myself and Emerald. Emerald has been single-handedly tracking the genealogy of our community, and the documentary sort of takes place when Emmy and I meet, and I start to realize the depth and the importance of the history that she's been recording for us. And then we made the film in order to bring light to that story.
So what inspired me to do the research is that the Chinese in Memphis did not have a history. And when I realized that, found out about that, I decided to do something. So I began this research, this journey with zero. So I had to figure out what to do. I needed names. The best place to get names was from the cemetery. So there is a Chinese section at a historic cemetery in Memphis. So I just made a list and just used Ancestry.com to try to get more information, but that was very limited. So I went to other resources, and with the Memphis City Directory, with newspaper resources, I was able to come up with a history of the Chinese in Memphis.
And I think that for both Tandi and Emmy, it also came emotionally from a place of wanting to address some of the public feelings that people had been experiencing post-COVID, and the sentiment towards Asian Americans in Memphis and in the United States in general. It had come to a place where it felt like more information was needed and more awareness of the Chinese American place in the United States and what it means to be American. So I think that not only is this documentary relevant, it's important and it's extremely interesting. For everybody who wants to see it, it's going to be available on streaming soon too.
I think the biggest challenge was probably trying to not boil the ocean all at once. I think there's a lot of pressure, especially if you come from a community that hasn't historically been recognized by institutions. You feel this pressure to sort of create a representation that is all encompassing and exhaustive, and that's just an impossible thing to do. So I think the hardest part was just between the writing, but then also just the creative direction, trying to figure out what was important to put in and what we just had to leave out. And I think you can read a lot into that, and it's hard not to spiral about the stories you had to leave behind, but we're not leaving them behind. We're continuing the work, and this is just the first step.
There's a lot about the film, I think, that was multi-layered. There's not just the relationship between Tandi and Emmy and the story about getting the information collected and put out, but it's also the story of the information itself, which covers 150 years of history of Chinese Americans living in Memphis, so that you can imagine condensing it into a smaller format for an audience in a film is a big task, and that making it a story that had a narrative to it was challenging, and I think also deeply rewarding.
I would like to say that there are many people out there that do not realize that Chinese live in the South. So it was important to make this film to bring more awareness to the Chinese in the South. It's hard to put 150 years without boring someone.
Yeah.
and I think that was a big challenge because I have worked with this history for a long time, and I did it more or less in a linear fashion. So it was hard for me to visualize how to put it on film. But with Tandi's artistry, I think it was well done.
Thank you. So if people want to watch the film, we're going to be available on New Day Films and Canopy starting October. Beyond that, you can visit our website, bluffcitychinese.com. We have a lot of other content there. We're also building a digital archive with all the research we weren't able to include in the film, so that's something to look forward to. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bluff City Chinese.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.